for our team, obviously you're going out there playing a really good opponent, first time on the road with our group, and I thought, Friday we got to our game right off the bat, and we're able to stay with it, and it doesn't always go in the net for you. It's fortunate we were able to score early, and I thought we did a lot of good things in that game, and then the next night was a big time opportunity. You knew they were going to be better and sharper, and they definitely were, and I thought we did really good stuff in that game. We had a 2-goal lead there in the third, and obviously we give up the shorty, then they score late, and the building really got loud, and great experience for our guys to play in that type of atmosphere, and then overtime was pretty exciting hockey there, right? And even if you go back on the clip, it's not just, we had a 2-on-0, we didn't score. They come down on a 2-on-1. Shane makes a great play. We go north, and a big time execution by Riker to get it to Bazzi. So that was a good weekend, good for our team. And I thought we were better from the New Hampshire weekend to the BU weekend, and now the goal is the same. Is right. We got to keep getting better and going up and playing Northern Michigan, a proud program. Obviously Coach Comley's history here, and what he did for Northern Michigan, what he did for Michigan State, and so excited to get up there and be a really good test.
I know you always want your players to stay not too high, not too low. Obviously this weekend, a pretty big high. So how do you kind of manage those emotions and expectations going into this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's just you're trying to instill that mindset, right? And we got good leadership, but it's not about results. It's about playing good, and it's not how you are now. It's about getting better, and every day we practice. We know we got to continue to get better. We got a lot of stuff to keep working on, and tuning out noise. I think that's important, right? As I've said it before, but there's noise when you're good and there's noise when you're bad, and neither one of them are good. And let's not worry about what anyone else thinks of us. Let's worry about getting better. And the guys have done a good job so far. It's early, but buying into that. And so, yeah, that'll be our approach here, right? Is we know we respect everyone we play. We fear no one, and it's all about the next practice, really, right? So we got another practice tomorrow, then we'll get on the road Thursday.
You were as animated behind the bench as we've seen you. Is this the new Adam Nightingale?
Oh, that was that was a crazy finish. I was excited for the guys because it would have been easy to melt, the way that we had done so much good in that game, and then we give up the shorty, and then they score. I don't know if it was like maybe 5 minutes left. I think we had a 3-on-1 to end it with a couple minutes left there and didn't finish it. But those are good moments for your team, right? Like you're playing a really good hockey team, so you're going to have to respond within the game, and I thought our guys did.
Even Friday, though, you were more into it than your stoic self back then.
I couldn't tell you. I don't analyze whether what I'm doing, but. No, I thought it was a great atmosphere, you know what I mean? And I was excited for our guys, and we got a lot of new players, just like a lot of teams in college hockey, right? So I think we got to keep trying to help guys get better. But again, it was a good weekend, but we also know we still got a lot to work on.
What have you liked about the early parts of this week with the guys coming off of that win and now staying hungry today?
Yeah, I think we met, right? And the old human nature is the hardest thing we're going to face this year, right? And so. We're going to have some good moments as a team. We're going to have some not good moments as a team, and how do you manage that human side of it? And it's not about what's happened in the past. And I said to our guys at the start of the week, it's like how would you practice today if we got our teeth kicked in both games? We'd probably be pretty dialed in, right? So if you're waiting for that to motivate, that's why there's very few great teams and a lot of good teams, because you kind of go up and down, And so we got to make sure we stay disciplined with our mindset. Yeah, I think when you watch it all back, right, we had again, he sprinted up the ice on a 2-on-0, and then he stopped at the net, was detailed. He sprinted back and stopped at the net and was able to save it. It was going to go in the net, and I think that was one of the areas Shane needed to grow, right, is his stamina, and he's done a great job. You can tell already he's got more jump, later in a shift, and. That's a culmination of a ton of work to come down to. That's our sport, is like it's just small little moments, right, that you got to try to master, and obviously he did a heck of a job for us.
Give us an idea what you think play's going to be like this weekend.
Well, I think it'll be a great atmosphere. It's a storied program. I think Schicker does a great job. They got a great coaching staff. It's going to be super competitive in a tough environment to play in, right? And so, again, we put them on the schedule for a reason, right? We respect them and respect their program, and the atmosphere. And so I think it's a really good test for our group, you know, and another opportunity to go try to figure out how to play good on the road.
You had a hard time scoring goals against them in the GLI too.
Yeah, no, that was a tight game for sure. So our guys remember that, you know, and I think our guys do a great job of, really when you're going into the weekend, we're so consumed with ourselves, right? We want to go out and try to play and master how we need to play. And, obviously we do our homework on our opponents and we're going to study up on them. But at the end of the day, we got to go out there and play our best regardless of who we're playing. And, that's the goal going into the weekend.
Give us your best memories of Marquette personally. What's this town mean to you?
A lot, yeah. Geez, I moved away there my junior year. You know, I was trying to be a hockey player, but I hadn't hit puberty, and I got an opportunity. I moved away to play on a midget AA team there, which really I don't think anyone's really ever done. You know, and I give my dad credit. He believed in me and to stay with it. You know, so I got cut from every team I had tried out for, and so I went up there and met a lot of really good people. You know, and those are really formative years. Your junior and senior year of high school, and ended up being able to play on the Electricians, the AAA team the next year, and we had a great coach and Coach Burkar and great staff, great group of guys, and you know, to this day I still, you know, consider that like a second home. And you know, my billet family up there, the Donleys, when I was with the Electricians, they sat with my parents at at Kristen and I's wedding. So I mean, it's a special place, and I think it's no different than the Sioux, right? When you get up to the UP, it's the people is what really makes it special. So, yeah, looking forward to going back. It should be a fun weekend.
What did you think of the team's penalties this weekend? Like, obviously, you feel a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, we talked after Friday's game, you know, like I think, you know, a couple of those penalties we took, you know, you're sticking up for your teammate, and like I'm a huge fan of sticking up for your teammate, and I think we play a sport where you can't let people take advantage of you, but you can't do it at the cost of the team, right? So you gotta understand taking a number and the time and in place, right? So you never want to take that emotion out of players, and you got to play with that. That's part of what makes a lot of our guys special, is you got to play right on the edge. And but I thought our penalty kill did a great job. And you know, long term, you know, I've said this. Our goal isn't to be the least penalized team in the country, right? I think if it's an easy thing to say, oh, we're disciplined, we don't take penalties. I think you got to play right on the edge, you know, and our job as coaches to get them right to that edge, and you got to understand it's gonna go over the edge, and so then you got to have a good penalty kill and a good goalie. So, you know, long term, we're not looking to, like, you know, take a ton of penalties for sure. And there's difference, right? The lazy penalties where you're not moving your feet and you're hooking guys, those are ones we have issues with. Hard penalties, you know, I look at Caden Lindstrom's hit against New Hampshire, right? Ref came up to me after, totally clean hit. I mean, those are ones you're gonna kill off, right? The guys on the bench understand. The ones that are lazy penalties, they end up seem to find a way to get in the back of your net. So all in all, you know, definitely want to clean it up, but we also want to play the game aggressive.
What's the biggest thing that you think you found out about the team this weekend?
Well, I liked, you know, I think we saw kind of how we need to play, you know what I mean? And you can talk about it, and we practice it, and then when you get out there and you're on the bench, you can see the guys believe and hope, you know, if we can stay with this, we got a chance to be a pretty good hockey team. And, you know, I thought our ability to not panic, you know, and again, you're on the road, it got really loud in there. We had controlled a lot of the game, and then obviously they leaned on us and scored a couple of goals, and there wasn't a panic. You know, I thought that was really good for our group, and I thought they tested us in areas we hadn't been tested yet, right? And so we definitely got to clean up some stuff, and but that's what it's all about, right? That's why you want to play teams like that, to find stuff out.
I think the Red Wings broadcast mentioned you got to go down there and see Ike on Sunday. How do you think he's adjusting to the NHL, and how important is it for you, or to you, to stay in contact with those former players who come through?
Yeah, I thought he did a great. We brought the guys down there to watch, you know, and it was good. We got in, whatever, our flight got in and late, and guys could sleep for a little bit and go down there, and we're fortunate, you know, Detroit's so close, right? Our guys can get down there and watch NHL hockey, and it's cool. I thought it was awesome watching them, you know. I mean, I think it's, especially, you know, the first time I started coaching Ike, he was 16 years old, so that's a long time. For the last 5 years I've had him, and I thought he's doing a great job, you know, and you know, I think he's learning. I talked to our guys about it, right? There's like half percenters that step right in and play a similar role that, like a Connor McDavid's gonna step right in and play, but majority of guys, like, you gotta earn your coach's trust, and you gotta be great away from the puck, and, I thought he did that in that game, right? He had a couple good looks offensively, but then in the third, he started to get out there more, and that's, he's gotta stay with that, so I thought he's done a great job, and I think regardless, like, I text with, Tanner Kelly checking in, it doesn't just guys that are in the NHL, like, if you played here, you're one of us, and, I think Tanner's, did an unbelievable job for us. So, yeah, I think, Coach Izzo's obviously done an unbelievable job of that. And I think that starts with the relationships that he has with his players and making sure you continue them.
Adam, you're not a guy who changes line combinations a lot. What are the pros and cons of that, especially early in the year when these guys are just starting to develop a little chemistry?
Yeah, I think I've always, I think you change when you feel like maybe things are stale. I've never felt like it's gotten that way here, and I think sometimes when you change lines, you're just throwing them in a blender to see if it works. I don't really believe in that. Like, I think if you look at our New Hampshire game, I thought we played pretty good at the first night, right? Obviously the puck didn't go in for us, but I think sometimes you change the lines, you're sending the message to the guys that the reason we didn't have success is because we didn't have the lines weren't right. I wasn't playing with the right guy. Where, we just got to go out and execute better, and we got to go play better. And you got to give it some time too for guys. Our season's not that long game wise, so I think you need some time to figure out if something's really working. And doesn't mean that we're not going to ever change, right? We're going to do what's best for the team, but I do think if you can find some consistency, it's valuable.
Is that what kind of made Friday night a little different, that you were forced into making some different line combinations when you're down a forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously Bake's got the penalty, so it was like, I think he had 2 shifts, 47 seconds ice time, and he was out of the game, right? So we were down to 11 forwards, but it gave some other guys the opportunity, especially with that many penalties, some guys that aren't on the kill could cycle through there and keep their legs going. So I think that helped us. And I mean, I think that you're always looking for, opportunities or whatever you can do to try to help your team get better. That was a case where, hey, this is the situation, but it worked out good because we were able to get guys out there more.
Are you locked into, we're just gonna have play 7D all the time, or have you looked at maybe changing that up and the extra might be a forward?
I think it's a weekend to weekend. I mean, I just think on principle, I think you look at the NHL, right? Some teams are dressing 11 forwards and 7D, right? I think when you have 60 and one goes down or something happens, it's pretty tough to roll 5, and then all of a sudden other guys are getting tired. And if you're I do think too, with dressing an extra forward, it's tough because then you're really impacting 4 guys if he's rotating through a line, right, instead of 1. So, on principle, I like 12 and 7 more. Not to say we would never do it different. Good. Thanks, guys.